This week's episode of Hunter x Hunter. This, I would say, was by far one of the best episodes I've seen from the series. And there's a lot of times I'd be saying, like, this is one of the best episodes, this was one of the best episodes, that. This just goes to show how good Hunter x Hunter really is. One of the best shonens out there right now. And this episode right here just, again, solidifies that title. Just a masterpiece. Honestly, the episode was so good. I never would have done this before, but I've watched the episode multiple times. That's just how good it was. It was just that kind of good. Seeing how the king knew his fate and all he wanted to do at that time was just be with Komugi for his final moments. It was touching. It was touching. He would go so far as even kneel in front of his enemy. Kneel in front of Palm. And Palm, being part ant, can't take that. That's just too much. Because she understands and knows how important the king is when it comes to the ants and everything. And that was just, oh God, it was ridiculous. And what's really funny too, actually, with this episode here is Pouf. See how the parallel works here, because look, the king has spent his final moments with the person honestly he loved. It seems like they literally died together here. I'm just like Komugi, like she just. I'm getting tongue-tied. Like it's like I said, it's hard to talk about. So I try to wait a minute to do this video, but still, it's just like, man, she died together with him and allowed the poison to kill her, basically, because she thought this is their moment. This is what she lived to. This is why she lived. You know, this is why she lived, for this moment here, to be with this person and to die with this person. I mean, that's something else right there, and that's dedication. That's dedication. And look at Pouf though, is what I'm about to say. Pouf had a lonely death, just by himself, or by those people that no one cares. No one cares about you, and you just died lonely death off screen, mind you. By the way, he just out there, and he seemed like he suffered more than Yopi did. Yopi coughed up a little bit of blood, and then just died. He dropped. Him, on the other hand, he was all covered in blood. Like, he was struggling hard, it seems like, and he had just a gruesome death. So it's like the parallel there. It's just like, it's kind of funny because Pouf never wanted the king to be next to Komugi or mess with Komugi, but look what happened. The king got to Komugi and spent the final days with this girl. So, you know, you never won this, Pouf. But I will say this. Pouf is an excellent antagonist. This guy was really good. He's really good character. And I appreciate this guy right here, and I appreciate the fact that he was in this arc and helped this arc out here, because he was a central part of this arc here and made everything a lot more interesting because of how just villainous he was and trying not to. I mean, he has his own goals, of course. It's just, you know what I'm saying, right? God. And I would like to say, when it comes to the king's personality and how he just grew as a person because of Komugi and him learning all the things that he learned. A person that has this much power will be power hungry and just be that ultimate villain type of character, the archetype that we see a lot of times in shonen anime and everything like that. But he's not the case. He's not that. He's nothing like that. He just, the more power he's gained, the more wiser he's become. The more he understood that ultimate power isn't what everything is, how you need to rule and everything. Like, he took pity on the weak. Like, he actually cared, you know? He had sympathy for others. And honestly, like I said, it's just the way his character was built up. It was excellent. It was excellent. Like, honestly, one of the best antagonists I've seen. He's an excellent character, an excellent character, and how he recapped to end this whole thing off was perfect. It was perfect. The same thing when it comes to Komugi, how Komugi made the king understand and realize what he realized and what he learned is all because of this girl. You know, Komugi really did change the king a lot, and again, she was a central part of this arc here, and she was a great character as well. And rest in peace, y'all. Yeah, just rest in peace. And that was just a beautiful moment, how they had that whole thing and kept saying, like, are you still there? And I was just like, oh God. He's like, yes, I'm still here. I'm like, it's just like, it's so much, just so much, yeah. But let me talk about politics a little bit here, and this is kind of interesting. Apparently, Bizef is nowhere to be seen or be found, and they're thinking he did some kind of revolution or something, which is why Daigo's dead and everything. So I'm curious, will any of the stuff that we learned in this episode with the news that we saw here, will it ever come back in later arcs, or what exactly? I mean, I'm curious if that will play a part later on. Like, we'll get to see what East Giranu is later on, like a few years later or something. Like, I'm curious if there's going to be something like that go on. So I mean, the fact that we're getting this kind of information makes me wonder if that's going to play a part later on, or mean something later on. Not to mention, Diego actually is still alive. That, like, apparently the Diego that died there wasn't actually Diego. It was some other person that was just playing as Diego, which is interesting. So overall, just like I said, this was a magnificent episode. A 10 out of 10. I mean, this is how you end off an arc right here. This is the perfect example how you end off an arc. Just beautiful. Just freaking beautiful. And I don't know. This arc combats with the York New arc. I don't know which one's my favorite. It's between these two, the Chimera arc and the York New arc. Again, tell me your thoughts on this arc and what you thought on this episode. Like this review, and subscribe my channel to see some more. See some more Hunter x Hunter reviews from me. So that's Thabreakmaster, and until then, people, break out.